Ladies and gentlemen, let us not mince words as we turn our critical gaze toward an ancient school of thought that, despite its encrustations of spiritualist barnacles over the millennia, manages to shine with a luster appealing to the secular and skeptical mind. I speak, of course, of Advaita Vedanta, a philosophical jewel in the crown of Indian metaphysical thought, long obscured by the patinas of religiosity and mystic mumbo-jumbo. Advaita Vedanta, masterfully expounded by the philosopher Adi Shankara, asserts a strikingly bold idea. The universe, in all its variegated complexity, is ultimately an illusion, a mere play of shadows on the wall of the cave we all inhabit. The only reality, according to this view, is Brahman, a concept not of a personal God replete with whims and desires, but an impersonal, all-encompassing consciousness. This is a universe stripped bare of divine theatricality, a cosmos where the gods themselves are rendered obsolete, mere figments of a misguided imagination clinging to the skirts of superstition. The seductive charm of Advaita Vedanta lies not in its ritualistic or theological accoutrements, indeed these are but the garish decorations added by lesser minds, but in its unflinching commitment to a non-dualistic perspective. It declares that the empirical world, the entire spectrum of our experiences, is Maya, an illusion. Here, then, is a philosophy daring to undermine every granule of perceived reality, insisting that true understanding lies not in the multiplicities and diversities of life, but in the recognition of a singular, unalterable truth. Yet let us not be led astray by the esoteric allure of such thoughts without subjecting them to the rigorous scrutiny of reason. The notion of Maya, while seductively simple, often leads to a nihilistic abyss, where actions and ethics lose their grounding in the supposed mirage of existence. This, I argue, is where the spiritual drapery of Advaita Vedanta does its greatest disservice, cloaking the stark implications of its philosophy in layers of ascetic detachment and metaphysical aloofness. What use is a doctrine that preaches detachment from a world deemed unreal, yet offers no concrete methodology for dealing with the world as we experience it? The sages and swamis draped in saffron might extol the virtues of escaping the cycle of Maya, but they do so with mouths fed by the very reality they deny. Herein lies the hypocrisy, thick within the folds of spiritual mysticism, that Advaita Vedanta, for all its philosophical purity, has not entirely shed. If we are to salvage the core of rationality from Advaita Vedanta, we must rigorously scrape off the spiritual rust that tarnishes its framework. This philosophical system, at its best, resonates with the principles of secular humanism and the scientific method, which also call upon us to see beyond the immediate and apparent. Science, like Advaita, teaches us that the universe is not as it seems. Our senses are limited, our perceptions flawed. Yet, unlike Advaita, science does not urge us to reject the world, but to understand and transform it. In tying this back, unmentioned, to our earlier discourse on cosmic altruism, we see a parallel call for a profound transformation, this time not merely of individual consciousness, but of the cosmos itself. Both visions challenge us to transcend our ordinary understanding and to reimagine our place within a larger, more mysterious universe. Both demand not passive resignation, but active, determined engagement with the deepest questions of existence. Thus, while Advaita Vedanta offers a framework that, in its most enlightened interpretation, aligns with the secular quest for truth, it must be perpetually stripped of its spiritual excesses and relentlessly questioned. It must be a living philosophy, continually refined by the abrasive sands of rational discourse, lest it settle into the comfortable but intellectually stultifying bed of religious dogma. So, to Advaita Vedanta I say, stand up to the scrutiny of reason, divest yourself of your spiritualist trappings, and join the robust dialogue of ideas that seeks not to comfort with illusions, but to challenge with truths. Only then can you claim a place at the table of rational secular thought, where the only spirits acknowledged are those ignited by the pursuit of knowledge and the unrelenting inquiry into reality.